Hi. I'm about a half an hour away from going into my first client session today. And there's some work that I'm doing with pretty much everybody and related to business. And I've been wanting to share it for a long time, like a lot of things that I haven't shared up until now. And so I'm taking the opportunity through this video to share some thoughts about something that are actually really important to me and are a pretty big differentiator, I guess, in the work and the approach that I take in helping people to build and design their own businesses and lives to bring their love to life. And I guess the theme of this, to simplify it all down, is relevance. Right now, with the shutdowns that we've experienced, the quarantines, the stay at home, lots and lots of businesses obviously have been impacted. What do we have? About a 20% unemployment rate in the country right now. It's intense. And lots of small businesses struggling. And what this brought up for me was a couple of memories. About 8 years ago, I taught a strategic marketing class. It was the first class actually in a series to fashion designers who were developing their very first lines. Most of them their very first, or some of them, developing, evolving their lines. And so I was in this fashion program, and, designers would come into this class, a strategic marketing class, and it was kind of, what is that? It's outside of my realm of who I am and what I know. And so, welcome them in and whatever, and be me. And then start by saying, okay, I'm going to ask you kind of a serious question here. Does the world need another dress? Do we need another pair of pants? Do we need another style of shoes, really? Does the world really need that? So why are you here? And it really wasn't about saying you needed to pick a different career, right? It was about bringing to the surface the awareness that the point isn't the dress or the pants or the shoes. The point is a possibility that the dress, pant, and shoes represent, remind us of, empower, encourage, right? And most of the time we're focused on, I make dresses. Okay, well, why? Why do you make dresses? And so the class started with, okay, what really is the point? What does this get down to? What is the possibility that you really want to bring to the world, regardless of the platform, right? What do you stand for? What do you care about most? What do you want for humanity? And then that became, the guiding light. And then we created a red thread to create a strategic marketing plan for their line. Another question that I asked was, first, what is marketing? But why, going back to the traditional definition of marketing, people think of marketing now as promotion, but the traditional definition of marketing was the 4 Ps. Oops, almost said 5. 4 Ps. People have brought in other things, it's like 6 or whatever, but I like the traditional 4P. And the 4 Ps were product, price, place, which really now I see as distribution, right? Where do we offer our product? And promotion. And so why are those the 4 Ps? Why those? And this is actually really, really relevant right now because the 4 Ps are the 4 Ps because they're what we can control. They're what we can choose. It's where we are empowered. And so basically in business, we're bringing a product at a price, offered in a place, promoted in a certain way, right? But in the context of what's going on in the world, in the context of a neighborhood or in the context of, a global neighborhood now, right? So it's always in the context of what's going on. So if you combine that with the idea of like, what's the point? What's the possibility that you're here to bring to the world? There's an opportunity for real innovation, especially in a time where everything outside of us that is outside of our control is completely turning upside down. And one of the things that I see and that I'm doing work with all my clients, and clients, if you're watching this and you want to speak up, please do put comments. And if not, that's okay too. But we get very attached to the product, the price, the place, the promotion. We get very attached to what that is supposed to look like, as if that is the point. And it's not. Those fulfill a higher possibility, and we forget that. And so when the world changes around us and suddenly we find ourselves irrelevant, we start panicking, right? We start panicking. What do you see? Like price. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, this isn't relevant anymore in the way that I'm used to it being relevant. So now I just need to put it out for free everywhere. Okay. Maybe, but that's not necessarily the only way, right? That's not the only way. Product and promotion. I have a client who makes dresses. I met her in that class actually, and now she's one of my best friends. Her name is Amy DeLita, and she is the founder and owner and designer for Vivid Element, which is branding that we did together. She really, really believes in being a vivid element. It says it right in her name, right? Be small, be little, have a low impact on the planet, right? But also recognize that every choice you make really matters in a really big way. So she makes these beautiful, she's an artist, and she makes these beautiful, beautiful dresses and tops and skirts, and they're all made with organic fabrics. And she uses all of the materials, the extra materials, so that there's no waste. She incorporates these into the design. They're really beautiful. I'll put a link somewhere so that you can see her. And she came to me and she said, when this first happened, she's like, how do I promote my dresses? And I basically said, you don't. Because right now, at the beginning of this, when everything was sort of shutting down and all of that, it's not relevant. She was supposed to be going to art fairs to make money, to bring in. Nope, those got shut down, right? So how do I promote my dresses, right? And the focus was on product attached to the way you thought it was supposed to be. But right now, that's not relevant. Nobody's going to hear that. And she was making masks on the side and donating them, which is a beautiful thing to do. And she has all of this fabric, beautiful fabric, hemp, organic hemp, which is naturally antimicrobial, which who knows, maybe that's actually helpful right now. And this was just before this whole thing about everybody needs to be wearing masks came down. And I said, everybody's going to need a mask here. There are not sources. Everybody's out of masks, right? So you could take the fabric. You have lots of the scraps. You have lots of beautiful fabric. You could take that fabric and you could make masks. And you could make a difference. And you could make some money, right? So obviously, lots of resistance, right? That's what shows up for all of us. No, but it's supposed to look like this. And I make these beautiful dresses, which she does. And masks? I feel so insignificant, right? Like, aww, right? Well, got out of our session and she texted me right afterwards. She goes, wow, guess what? I just got a text from a friend of mine who asked me if I could make 4 masks for her. She'd like to pay me. I'm like, of course you did. And the next day, the CDC or whoever it was came out and said everybody needed to wear masks. And so for the last however many weeks, 7 weeks, 6 weeks, she has been focused on making masks. And when she makes a mask, guess what? She can include a little card when she sends the mask for a 10% off on a dress or a skirt or a top or something else if you'd like to try it sometime, right? Oh, looky there, being relevant, actually making a difference in a little way, a little difference that makes a big difference for humanity, totally on point for what she believes in, right? Bringing money in, word spreading. She didn't have to promote it at all. It just started coming in when she opened up to this possibility and detached from what she thought she had to be working on, what it was supposed to look like. And this just gets better and better because there's someone she works with in San Francisco who owns a boutique, who wanted to offer masks to her customers so Amy could send it to her and then she would deliver it, or the people could pick it up at the store. And then a major newspaper in San Francisco contacted that woman to find out, if she knew of where people could get masks. And guess who was in the San Francisco paper as a place that you could get really good masks? Vivid Element. You can't buy that kind of promotion. I mean, you can, but you have to have the resources for it, right? So now she gets 50 orders in the first day, right? From people who never would have known about her before. And she gets to offer, here's me, get to know me. Here's a beautiful postcard and here's what I stand for. And, here's an offer for a discount or whatever. So guess what started happening? People order a mask and, oh, maybe I'll try one of that cute t-shirt or a skirt or a dress, right? So by focusing on your possibility and detaching from what you think product or price, those masks were a lot less than her dresses, a lot less, right? It's a lot more work for sure. It's a lot of work to be able to create all of those masks. It's a different process. She really has to take care of herself. But if she can keep it in balance, which she is, keeping the perspective, this is not making her small. This is not making her insignificant in a negative, in a diminished way. It's allowing her to do something small in a way that has a big impact, that really models and brings to life the love that she brings to life in this way, and is also bringing the love to life in an even bigger way because she's out meeting people that she didn't get to meet at the art fairs, but in this completely other way. This is a story that is true with so many different clients. I have so many different stories of this. And the way that we create possibility looks different based on the possibility, based on our skill set, based on, what our knowledge base is, but it doesn't have to look the way that you thought it was supposed to look. And if you can detach from the product or the price or the way that you think you're supposed to promote when it doesn't feel relevant anymore, or even the place and the way that you offer your product, there is new possibility there that you haven't seen before, that this kind of a situation where outside of our control, everything flip-flops and changes, it really gives us an opportunity to innovate in not only just new ways, but in ways that are really, really true to our heart, and ways that probably we've really, really wanted to allow ourselves. We still feel a lot of resistance around it because it's, it's scary in some way. But it's really opening up possibilities for us to step into ourselves more fully and to bring our love to life in bigger ways. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm going to leave it there for now. There's so much more that I could talk about. But if you found this helpful, let me know. And if you have any questions, let me know. And if you want to know more, let me know. And here's to some innovation, right? Challenging times. Necessity, I have it up on the board over here. I was writing notes for myself earlier. Necessity is the mother of invention, right? And here we are, huge possibility to open up in brand new ways that we never would have even thought of or considered had we not been in the circumstances that we're in right now. So be safe, be well, especially as we begin to open up here, be smart, and big love to everybody. Thanks for listening.